My name's Kathy Walzcak, and I'm a grandmother, a mother of 2 daughters, and have 6 grandchildren and a wonderful husband. I am a breast cancer survivor for 6 years and just really loving life right now. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in March of 2006, and then I had gone to some doctors locally and decided that I wanted another opinion, and I ended up going to Nashville and had surgery there in April, had a lumpectomy, and I was fortunate that I was a candidate for what they call a mammocyte, and they place a catheter inside with a balloon inside the breast, and instead of having the typical radiation treatment, I had seed implants, which is somewhat like a man would have for prostate cancer. I went twice a day for 7 days, and it was the equivalent of 33 radiation treatments. It was a lot in a week's time, but it was over in a week too. So I was very blessed to be a candidate for that. It was very successful treatment, and I was tired. You know, it took me a while to rehabilitate from that, but I've had a very good prognosis. I did go in for my regular screening. I had not felt anything, and I'll be honest, before that time I was not always as good as I should be about self-breast exam. I am now, but I wasn't so much then. But I did not feel it, the doctor did not feel it, but the mammogram showed it, so I definitely promote get those mammograms.
Right.
So it was diagnosed early, which is a big blessing. One thing I would like to comment, I mentioned that I had had my surgery and treatments in Nashville. A lot of people were unaware, but I was able to stay at a place called Hope Lodge because I was more than 50 miles away from home for my treatment. And I've really tried to promote the Hope Lodge because it's an incredible place. And I think when I went down to see my surgeon, and then I went over to see where the Hope Lodge was and to give them my paperwork so I could stay there during my treatment, that was my real wake-up call when you see all these other cancer patients that, for the most part, I think were so much sicker than I ever, was or thought I would be. And it really was a wake-up call to know I needed a place like that. That was tough. Oh, the moment I heard that I had cancer, my world did a flip-flop. There were lots of tears and lots of prayers, but then you just get a grip with things, and you know that God is ultimately in control. And without that faith and my prayer warriors that I had, I really don't know how I would have made it. But it was a good outcome, and but my world changed then, and it's changed now because I have such a much more appreciative attitude for life. I felt like I have a closer relationship with my family, with God, with my friends, with everyone, because I had been on the giving end of giving those prayers and those support, and to be on the receiving end, you feel that. You feel that love and support that you're getting. As I said before, a lot of my church family, a lot of prayers through them, people that prayed for me that I didn't even know them through prayer chains. I had one special little girl that I had met through her mother. I didn't really know the little girl, but she became the strongest little prayer warrior that there ever was. And that's been a real blessing in my life to see the children that pray for you. And but obviously my husband was my rock at that time, and like I said, I think that I can see where that would be tension in a marriage, but it also brought us so much closer together that we were going to do this journey together. It wasn't going to be just me, or it was it was together. Oh, I would have missed so many moments, just life in general, but the birth of our 6th grandson, he's 4 now, so I would have totally missed that, he's an awesome little guy, as well as the rest of them. But I would have missed that. Just things with all of the grandkids, with my kids, with the family, with travel. We love to travel, and so there would have been a lot there. But I have to say that because of cancer, I would have missed things if I hadn't had the cancer, which may sound strange, but I've met a whole new support group of people through the American Cancer Society, through Susan G. Komen, through the ABC program at the YMCA, just all those people. And I also was involved, I was selected as a member to go to Casting for Recovery, which is a free weekend for breast cancer survivors, and you learn to fly fish. And I had never had any interest in anything like that, but I thought, oh, it'll be fun. Well, today my husband and I both love to fly fish now, and it's something we can do together. But that was just an incredible experience. So I know there were things, had breast cancer taken my life, I would have definitely missed a lot. But I would have missed some things too had I not had breast cancer. So, it wasn't an all negative thing, and that's a big point too, is you have to find the positive with things that happen in life. My husband and I had decided in retirement that we wanted to do something. He'd always wanted to own his own business, and so good or bad, we had this wild hair that there wasn't a donut shop. This was in Sparta, and so we opened Paradise Donuts in Sparta and produced a great product, I might say. It was a wonderful donut. The economy was bad. It was bad timing. It was a rough time. Shortly after we opened the shop, I found out I had breast cancer. So we were in Nashville. I was undergoing treatments. So we had to be away from the shop, which was not a good situation. And then my mother, shortly after, she found out she had cancer. And so I wanted to take care of her. It was just a real struggle. It was not a good time. So we ended up selling our donut shop. And we lost some money on the donut shop, but that was okay. We were disappointed in that, but it was okay. And little did we know that, 4 years later, God called my husband to Chile to make donuts. And they were starting a teen challenge program for women. They have a facility for men but didn't have anything for women, but they wanted to have something that the women could earn some money doing down there to help support the program. And they came up with the idea of a donut shop. So through our previous pastor, he was called to what he thought just confer about the whole issue. Little did he know he was going to Chile. So he's been to Chile twice. The donut shop is going well down there right now. It's just taking off. But God has a sense of humor. He didn't let us know why we had that donut shop, but in doing that, we learned a lot, and now we're able to pass that on to someone else to help them. It was a blessing. The main thing I would say, the success in my prognosis with breast cancer is, first of all, an awesome surgeon, to have found a great surgeon, a great oncologist, to be a candidate for the mammoth site and to be able to be treated that way. And it was aggressive but not prolonged. Of course, my prayer warriors that were out there praying for me every step of the way. And the medications, I was on the Femera for 5 years. I just went off of that this past year, and as much as I wanted to go off of it, I was just so excited to get off of it, and some of the side effects it created, there was a little bit of fear there, okay, now what happens? But, I have confidence that it's gone, not to return. When I was diagnosed, my daughter had a coworker that had had breast cancer, and so of course she cried to Pat that her mama had breast cancer, and what was going to happen and all this. Well, Pat called me because I really didn't know anybody that had breast cancer at that time, and or had it, And so she called me, and she was a real blessing, because you worry about, am I making the right decision to have a lumpectomy as opposed to a mastectomy, or, and she said, you go with your heart and what your doctor helps to guide you with, because she said, no matter what you choose, you're going to second guess it, no matter, what, until, 5 or 10 years down the road. She said, you're going to second guess that. So it made me feel good that it was like, okay, it's normal to think I might not be making the right decision.
Right.
That helped. And she sent me a journal for women with breast cancer. And so I went back to my journal, but now it's kind of neat to go back to the journal to see the fears I had, and all the feelings that I was going through at that time. I have been helped some with the Casting for Recovery, and hopefully we'll be able to be a counselor or something at one of their next events or something. But it's just an incredible program, and that's one that's not real well known. I was at the Race for the Cure, and they had a booth to sign up, and I just thought, oh, okay, I'll sign up,
Yeah.
And then I get this thing that I've been selected, and it's like, wow. But you meet women from all over Tennessee, and I think there was one there from North Carolina and one from Georgia that was there. There was 14 of us. And you room with someone you don't even know, but you're all sisters by the end of the weekend.
Right.
We stayed at the Buckberry Lodge up in Gatlinburg. People that had some private property around Norton's Creek, and they let the ladies use that property. And we learned the techniques. We learned to make flies and tie flies and all this on one day. And we would have little counseling sessions and group sessions, and they lavished us with gifts the whole, weekend. And then on Sunday, after breakfast, these guys came in on the back of a truck, and they're all kind of professional, semi-professional fly fishermen. And each lady had someone to go out with her and help her, make sure she was using the right techniques and to catch fish. I caught 3. It was just an incredible experience. Just learning that, and they kind of correlated that with healing. There were ladies there there was one lady that she was in stage 4, but she was there, and she just was an incredible person, and you just learn from those other women. It was really neat. Every woman should definitely have her mammograms. Have them as early as you can have them. If you have family history, push your doctors to let you have an earlier mammogram than what insurance companies say we can have it. But and definitely do your self-exams. We know our bodies better than anybody. We know if there's a little flaw or abnormality that we're not used to feeling or seeing or anything with our bodies. So your self-breast exam is really important, and definitely the mammograms. Susan G. Komen has impacted me with just their pursuit to find a cure for cancer, and all their fundraisers they do, and the promotions they do for women with breast cancer. The different relays and the Race for the Cure, all the different things that they're a part of that we really don't see, but you know that they're a part of that. And I think they're a very important group to go along with the American Cancer Society.